I 39M, never thought I'd be sharing this story, but I need to get this off my chest. 2 months ago, I nearly died while my family was too busy celebrating my brother's success to help me. Let me walk you through the worst day of my life, and how it opened my eyes to decades of toxic family dynamics. I run, or used to run, a custom motorcycle repair shop in Rochester, Minnesota. With Mayo Clinic nearby, I built a solid reputation among doctors and medical staff who ride. But every success I had was overshadowed by my brother Tom, 36M, my parents, late 60s, golden child. Growing up, Tom could do no wrong. When I was 12, they converted my bedroom into his trophy room, said he needed a proper space to display his baseball achievements. I got moved to the unfinished basement, spent Minnesota winters huddling around a space heater. The day everything changed started like any other Thursday. I was working on this complex frame modification for a vintage Ducati. High-end job, needed absolute precision. The shop was quiet except for AC/DC playing softly on my old radio. Buddy, my German shepherd, was in his usual spot by the heater. The autumn sun was setting, casting long shadows through the garage door. The plasma cutter hummed in my hands as I lined up the cut. One wrong move and I'd ruin a $30,000 bike. I remember thinking how steady my hands were, how everything felt perfectly aligned. Then I heard this weird sound, like metal tearing wrong. Time slowed down. I saw the plasma cutter kick back in slow motion. Felt it catch on something. Then the pain hit, white hot, like someone had shoved a burning sword through my leg. The cutter had sliced clean through my thigh, just above my knee. The first spurt of blood hit the bike's frame. Dark red, pulsing with my heartbeat. Arterial bleeding. I knew enough first aid to know this was really, really bad. I stumbled backward, trying to reach the first aid kit. My legs gave out. I cracked my head on the concrete floor so hard I saw stars. The impact sent a fresh wave of blood across the shop floor. Everything started spinning. Blood was pooling around me faster than I could process. It looked wrong, too much, like someone had spilled gallons of red paint. I could feel my heart racing, then slowing. Cold sweat broke out all over my body. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely work my phone. Blood made the screen slippery. It took 3 tries to dial Mom's number. "Mom," I gasped, barely able to speak. "Accident at shop, bleeding bad, arterial, need help now." Her response still haunts me, "Oh honey, we're at Tom's press conference. Can't you call an ambulance?" I couldn't believe it. "Mom, please," I begged, my voice cracking. "Losing too much blood, can't reach phone properly, need help, please. Just hold on, sweetie. We'll check on you after the announcement." She hung up. The room was getting darker. Blood loss or sunset, I couldn't tell. I tried calling Dad. Straight to voicemail. In desperation, I called Tom. Through my fading consciousness, I heard cheering and champagne bottles popping. "Hey, bro." He sounded drunk. Perfect timing. "We're celebrating. Tom, help, bleeding out." He laughed. "Sorry man, thought you were calling to congratulate me. Just got named head coach. Open bar, dude." I heard Mom in the background, "Tom, honey, the reporters want another picture." The line went dead. Buddy started barking frantically, nudging my face. Good boy. Best dog ever. I remember thinking this was it. I was going to die on my shop floor while my family celebrated Tom's latest achievement. My vision was tunneling, black creeping in from the edges. The pool of blood had reached Buddy's paws. He kept barking, more desperate now. Through the encroaching darkness, I heard the shop door slam open. "Mike? I brought you some, oh my god." Mike. Lisa, 34F, who'd opened a coffee shop next door 6 months ago, appeared above me. She was already on her phone, "I need an ambulance now." Main Street Auto, severe arterial bleeding, victim losing consciousness. She ripped off her belt, wrapped it around my thigh. Even through the pain, I noticed she didn't hesitate to kneel in my blood. Professional medical voice, "Stay with me, Mike." I did combat medicine in Afghanistan. Keep your eyes open. Talk to me. I tried to focus on her face. Cold, tired. No sleeping. Her voice got stern. Tell me about this bike. What year is it? 1972, Ducati, customized frame. Good, keep talking. Ambulance is 4 minutes out. Stay with me. The pain was fading, replaced by this floating sensation. Not good. I knew this was shock setting in. Lisa, if I don't. Shut up. You're not dying in this shop. She pressed harder on the tourniquet. I haven't even asked you on a proper date yet. That got my attention. You want. Yes, you idiot. Been trying to get your attention for months. So you're not allowed to die before our first date. Deal? I remember trying to smile. Then nothing. My next clear memory is waking up in Mayo Clinic's ICU. The steady beep of monitors, that antiseptic hospital smell, and everything felt distant. Like I was floating. Must have been the good drugs. Lisa was asleep in the chair next to my bed, still wearing blood-stained clothes. Buddy was at her feet, apparently she convinced the hospital to let him visit. They both looked exhausted. A doctor came in, Dr. Cole according to his badge. He checked my vitals, then got that serious look doctors get when they're about to drop bad news. You're very lucky to be alive, Mr. Walker. You lost nearly 40% of your blood volume. Without Ms. Thompson's combat medical experience, you wouldn't have survived until the ambulance arrived. He paused, looking at his clipboard. However, the plasma cutter caused extensive damage. Severed your femoral artery, major nerve damage, significant muscle trauma. We've managed to save the leg, but... He trailed off. Lisa was awake now, holding my hand. But what? I asked, though I think I already knew. You'll need multiple surgeries. Extensive physical therapy. And... I need to be clear. You'll never regain full function. Standing for long periods, heavy lifting, the kind of work you do, that won't be possible anymore. The words hit like physical blows. Never work on bikes again. Never stand at my workbench. Everything I'd built, gone in one moment of bad luck. Lisa squeezed my hand. We'll figure it out, she whispered. Together. The next few days were a blur of surgeries, pain meds, and tests. Lisa stayed with me, only leaving to check on Buddy and her coffee shop. My parents? Not a single visit. Then my dad finally called. For a moment, I felt relief. They'd heard how bad it was. They cared. I couldn't have been more wrong. Mike, he said without preamble, we need $380,000. Tom's contract has some issues. Need to buy him out or he'll lose the position. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Dad, I'm in the hospital. I almost died. Where were you? Don't be so dramatic, he sighed. It was just a cut. This is Tom's future we're talking about. I hung up. Just a cut. I looked down at my heavily bandaged leg, at the monitors still tracking my vital signs, at Lisa who'd saved my life while they popped champagne. The physical recovery was brutal. Just learning to sit up again was exhausting. The first time they made me try standing, I passed out from the pain. Lisa caught me before I hit the floor. The therapists were great, but honest. You'll walk again, Susan, my PT, said. But it'll never be the same. No more long hours in the shop. No more heavy lifting. You'll need to find a new way to work. The medical bills started arriving. $92,000 after insurance. More surgeries needed. The shop sitting empty, bills still due. Everything I'd built over 20 years, slipping away. A week before discharge, Tom texted, "Hey, bro, heard you got hurt. That sucks. Also, did you tell mom and dad you won't help with my expenses? Not cool, man. Family helps family." I stared at the phone, remembering all the times that phrase had been used to manipulate me. My first job's paychecks. My college fund. My savings. All gone to Tom's career. Finally got discharged after 3 weeks. Lisa insisted I stay at her place. She had a ground floor apartment, easier to manage with crutches. Buddy came too, barely leaving my side. The first time I saw my shop from the passenger seat of Lisa's car, I broke down. 20 years of work. Of pride. Of building something from nothing. Now I couldn't even walk through the door without help. That night, lying in Lisa's guest room with Buddy at my feet, the full weight of everything hit me. I couldn't work. Couldn't pay my bills. Couldn't even take care of myself. The leg throbbed, a constant reminder of how much I'd lost. Lisa found me at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling. Without a word, she sat on the bed and held my hand. I know it looks impossible right now, she said softly. But you're not alone. We'll figure this out together. I looked at her, this woman who'd saved my life, who was now rearranging her entire life to help me. Why? I asked. Why are you doing all this? She smiled. Because I care about you, you idiot. Have since I moved in next door. Was trying to work up the courage to ask you out when all this happened. Not exactly prime dating material now, I muttered, gesturing at my useless leg. Let me decide that for myself, she said, then kissed me. Just like that. Like I wasn't broken. Like I was still worth something. The next morning, reality came crashing back. Another call from Dad, your mother's crying about this contract situation. How can you be so selfish? I hung up. Checked my bank account. The medical bills had wiped out most of my savings. The shop's insurance was fighting the claim, calling it user error. More surgeries needed. Physical therapy 3 times a week at $175 per session. Lisa found me doing the math, trying to figure out how long until I lost everything. She took one look at my face and said, no. We're not going there. First, we're getting you breakfast. Then we're calling my friend at the VA, she handles disability claims. Then we're looking at options for the shop. Shop's useless now, I said bitterly. Can't work on bikes anymore. Maybe not with your hands, she agreed. But you've got 20 years of knowledge in your head. Maybe it's time to think about teaching others. I couldn't see it then. Couldn't see anything but what I'd lost. The leg pain was constant, the painkillers made me foggy, and every time the phone rang, I tensed up wondering if it was another demand from my family. But Lisa, she just kept going. Helping me with exercises, making sure I ate, talking about future plans like they were actually possible. Even on my worst days, when the pain had me curled up in a ball, she'd just sit with me, letting me know I wasn't alone. Buddy adapted to our new routine, somehow understanding that he needed to be gentle. He'd lead me to the bathroom when I was unsteady on my crutches, bark for Lisa if I needed help but was too stubborn to call out. A week after discharge, Mom showed up unannounced. I was doing my PT exercises in Lisa's living room, sweating and swearing as I tried to bend my knee. Oh honey, Mom said, like she was talking to a child, this is why you need to help with Tom's contract. Once that's settled, we can focus on getting you better. I stared at her. Getting me better? Where were you when I was bleeding out? When I was in the hospital? When I needed my mother? Don't be dramatic. We were busy with Tom's announcement. You know how important his career is. That's when Lisa walked in. She took one look at the situation and stepped between us. I think you should leave, she said quietly. Mike needs to rest. Who are you to interfere in family matters? Mom demanded. I'm the one who saved his life while you were taking pictures, Lisa replied. I'm the one who's been here every day. I'm the one who actually cares about him. Now get out. Mom left in a huff. That night, I got a group text from Tom, way to make Mom cry. Real nice bro, family helps family, remember? Lying in bed that night, listening to Buddy's soft snoring, I realized something. My whole life had been built around being their backup plan, their ATM, their safety net for Tom. And now, when I actually needed them, they couldn't even pretend to care. The next morning, another specialist appointment brought more bad news. The nerve damage was worse than they thought. Another surgery needed. More bills. More recovery time. I sat in Lisa's car afterward, holding the new stack of medical papers, and just broke. All the tears I'd been holding back since the accident just came pouring out. Lisa held me while I cried, right there in the hospital parking lot. Didn't try to fix it. Didn't tell me to be strong. Just held me and let me feel everything I needed to feel. When I finally ran out of tears, she said something I'll never forget: "You're allowed to grieve what you've lost, Mike. But don't let them make you believe you're worth less because of it." I looked at her, this amazing woman who'd literally saved my life and was now trying to save my soul, and realized something. Maybe I had lost my old life. But maybe, just maybe, I could build a new one. But first, I had to face the reality of my situation. Couldn't work. Medical bills mounting. Shop sitting empty. And a family that saw me as nothing but a resource for Tom. Tomorrow, I have another PT session. Another battle with insurance. Another day of trying to figure out what comes next. At least I'm not facing it alone anymore. We'll update as things develop. Still trying to process everything that's happened. Hard to believe it's only been 2 months since my life completely changed. Update 1, it's been a month since my last post, and the family drama has escalated to a whole new level of toxic. Remember how Tom needed $380,000 for his contract buyout? Well, turns out he'd been showing up drunk to practice. Not just once, multiple times. And last week, he crashed the school's golf cart into the principal's new BMW while under the influence. Now they're facing a major lawsuit. Mom showed up at Lisa's apartment yesterday, crying about how they're about to lose their house because of the legal fees. But here's the kicker: while she was in our bathroom, her phone lit up with a text from Tom: "Thanks for the $5,000, Mom, Florida's gonna be great." They're about to lose their house, but they're still sending him money for his fresh start in Florida. When I confronted Mom about it, she actually said, "Well, Tom needs to maintain a certain lifestyle. He has an image to protect." An image to protect. Meanwhile, I'm doing physical therapy in Lisa's living room, trying to figure out how to pay $137,000 in medical bills. But wait, it gets better. Last weekend was my Aunt Sarah's 60th birthday party. I didn't want to go, but Lisa thought it might be good for me to get out. Big mistake. Walked in on crutches to find Mom showing everyone a PowerPoint presentation about Tom's journey to success. Complete with childhood photos, none with me in them, of course. They'd literally cropped me out of family vacation pictures. Then Tom started his sob story: "I just don't understand what happened to Mike. He used to be such a supportive brother. Now that I'm facing challenges, he's abandoned the family. I lost it." Challenges? You mean consequences? I called you dying and you hung up to take pictures. The room went silent. Then my Uncle Bob, who's always been Tom's biggest fan, said, "Come on, Mike. It was just a cut. Stop being dramatic. Just a cut." The same words Dad used. I pulled up my pant leg, showed them all the surgical scars. This is what they chose over helping me. This is what wasn't worth missing Tom's press conference for. Mom burst into tears. "How dare you ruin Sarah's party with your jealousy?" She actually said that. Like I was the one who brought up family drama with a PowerPoint presentation. Lisa, my amazing defender, stepped in. Jealous? Of what? A drunk who crashed a golf cart. While Mike built a successful business from nothing. That's when Dad dropped the latest bomb: they've mortgaged their house again to pay for Tom's defense lawyer. Now they're facing foreclosure. But instead of asking Tom to face consequences, they're pressuring me to help the family. Tom's been texting nonstop since then. "Remember when we were kids and you said you'd always protect me? Family helps family, bro." I do remember. I also remember why I made that promise. I was 15, working my first job. Tom had stolen money from Dad's wallet for video games. He begged me to take the blame, promised he'd pay me back. I did it to protect him. Got grounded for a month, lost my job because I couldn't show up for shifts. He never paid me back. Instead, Dad gave him a new gaming console for Christmas. To keep him out of trouble, they said. That was their pattern. Tom messes up, I pay the price, they reward him anyway. Yesterday, Mom tried a new angle. Showed up with my old childhood photos, started talking about her sweet little boy, and how I've changed. Then hit me with, if your grandmother was alive, she'd be so disappointed in how you're treating the family. That was low, even for her. Grandma was the only one who ever stood up for me. Before she died, she tried to set up a college fund for me. After she passed, guess where that money went? Tom's baseball camp. Lisa found me looking at those old photos last night. One shows me at my first motorcycle show. I'm grinning, holding a trophy. In the background, Mom and Dad are both on their phones, probably texting about Tom's latest game. You were such a happy kid, Lisa said. Despite everything. I replied. Always trying to earn love that was never going to come. Tom's latest scheme? He's telling relatives he needs money for rehab. But Lisa's friend works at the resort he's actually booked in Florida. No rehab in sight. The real estate agent called today. My shop's property value has increased significantly, Mayo Clinic's expanding nearby. Dad somehow found out and now they're pushing me to sell it to save the family. Save the family. That's what they always say when they want my money for Tom. But where was this family when I was bleeding out? When I needed surgery? When I couldn't walk? Lisa suggested we look into restraining orders. The family's behavior is becoming harassment. They've started showing up at her coffee shop, trying to convince her to talk sense into me. Buddy's become super protective. He growls whenever Mom or Dad try to approach me. Smart dog knows toxic people when he sees them. The irony? My business insurance finally paid out for the accident. Not much, but enough to cover some medical bills. Mom found out and actually said, see? Now you can help Tom since you're getting free money. Free money. Because apparently almost dying and losing my career is like winning the lottery. I've started therapy, the emotional kind, not just physical. My therapist helped me see something. I've spent 39 years being my brother's safety net. Every time I tried to build something for myself, they took it for him. But not anymore. I'm done being their ATM, done being the backup plan. Done trying to earn love from people who only see me as a resource for Tom. Lisa and I are looking at ideas for the shop's future. Maybe a training center. Maybe something else. But whatever it is, it'll be mine. No family loans. No guilt trips. No more, family helps family. Because I've finally realized something, family doesn't let you bleed out while they take photos. Family doesn't steal your college fund. Family doesn't choose a press conference over saving your life. Real family is someone who kneels in your blood to save you. Who stays through surgeries. Who believes in you when you can't believe in yourself. I'll update again when we figure out what's next for the shop. For now, I'm focusing on healing, physically and emotionally. And for the first time in my life, I'm putting myself first. Update 2, it's been 6 months since my last post. Everything's changed, karma finally caught up with my family, while I found happiness I never thought possible. Let's start with Tom's spectacular downfall. His fresh start in Florida turned into his final scam. He used Mom's $5,000 to secure a coaching position at a private school, lying about his background. It all fell apart when he showed up drunk to a parent-teacher meeting. The parent happened to be a reporter who did some digging. Within days, every local paper had the story, former coach fired for DUI, lies about career. The school's suing him for fraud. His precious reputation? Destroyed. No school will touch him now. He's working as a part-time janitor at a gym in Wisconsin. The karma really hit my parents. All those refinancing deals for Tom's career finally caught up with them. The bank foreclosed on their house last month. Dad's working as a cashier at Home Depot, Mom's at Target. The day they moved out, Mom called crying. Begged me to help them get an apartment. "We're your parents," she sobbed. "You can't let us be homeless." I reminded her of the day they left me bleeding out. "I was your son," I said. "And you let me almost die alone." She tried guilt-tripping. "After everything we've done for you." "Everything you've done?" I cut her off. "You stole my college fund. Made me sleep in a freezing basement. Took my paychecks. Ignored every achievement. And when I called you dying, you chose a press conference. So tell me, what exactly have you done for me?" She had no answer. Now for the good news. Lisa and I got married last month. Small ceremony, just close friends. Buddy was our ring bearer, took his job very seriously in his little bow tie. The old shop is now Rochester Motorcycle Technical Institute. We offer specialized courses in motorcycle maintenance and repair. I can't work on bikes anymore, but I can teach others everything I know. The school already has a waiting list. Mayo Clinic's expansion brought in lots of professionals who ride expensive bikes. They want qualified technicians working on their machines. Lisa's coffee shop is part of the campus now. She's handling the business side too. Turns out she has an MBA she never mentioned. My parents heard about our success. Dad showed up playing proud father. "I always knew you had it in you, son." I just looked at him and said, "No, you didn't." But I knew it, and Lisa knew it, and that's all that mattered. He suggested I owed my success to their tough love. Said making me struggle made me stronger. Lisa, who overheard this, lost it. Listed every time they'd chosen Tom over me, every achievement they'd ignored, every dollar they'd taken. Dad left without another word. He's telling relatives I've turned cold because of success. The same relatives who saw them ignore me bleeding out. Nobody's buying their victim act anymore. Tom sent one final text, "You won at life, bro, happy now? While your family suffers." I replied, "I didn't win at life. I built something from nothing, while you wasted everything handed to you. I finally stopped letting you tear down what I built." The leg's still not great. Some days the pain's bad. But Lisa and my students keep me going. Teaching has given me new purpose. Watching students grasp complex repairs, seeing their pride at first rebuilds, it's better than anything in my old life. Mom called yesterday. Their apartment application was rejected due to bad credit. They're in a motel now. Asked to stay with us, just until they get back on their feet. I said no. Lisa backed me completely. We've built something good here, something healthy. We're not letting their toxicity back in. Karma's funny. They spent decades taking everything from me to give to Tom. Now they've lost everything because of him, while I've built a life better than anything they could have given me. The irony? If they'd supported me from the start, I probably would have helped them now. But they chose Tom, even when I was bleeding out. Now they live with that choice. Yesterday, teaching my advanced class, I realized something. Everything led me here. To this new career, to Lisa, to a life where I'm valued for who I am, not measured against my brother. Life's not perfect. The leg aches in cold weather. But every morning, Lisa brings me coffee at my teaching desk. Buddy follows me around the classroom. My students want to learn what I know. I finally understand what real family means. It's not blood. It's not obligation. It's people who choose you, who show up when you need them, who value you for exactly who you are. Sometimes the worst moments lead you to the best ones. You just have to survive the bad to reach the good. I won't be updating again. This chapter's closed. Tom and my parents made their choices. Now they live with them. Meanwhile, I'm building a future with people who actually love me. Sometimes losing a toxic family is the best thing that can happen to you. It makes room for real family to find you.